With the budget round the corner, there will be no shortage of commentators sharing their wish lists on matters pertaining to attracting investments, addressing anomalies, promoting specific industries, as well as seeking a host of tax incentives and exemptions. I propose to focus on a niche sector which perhaps does not attract the commensurate attention it deserves. I'm referring to the issue of sustainable retirement and assisted healthcare. Malaysia is fast achieving aging population status, which is when 10% of our citizens are 60 years and above. An aging population puts pressure on a society's ability to support its elderly citizens, many of whom have contributed significantly towards nation building. Without a doubt, each individual must take responsibility and ownership of his own retirement planning and not expect governmental handouts. With the current rising life expectancy, individuals should ensure they accumulate sufficient savings throughout their working lives to achieve financial independence in their golden years. Traditional Malaysian values also generally dictate a responsibility to care for our aged parents and the elderly in our families. However, this is no longer necessarily true due to the changing societal values and falling birth rates. Children can no longer be depended upon to provide a sustainable retirement safety blanket. Although we try to encourage home care, we must be realistic and recognize that adequate care is not always possible at home. Given the limited facilities and medically qualified caregivers, retirement and nursing homes are often practical and necessary options. Against this backdrop, there is a need for government policies to create a tax environment that is conducive to sustainable retirement and assisted healthcare. Otherwise, this aging phenomenon will gradually become a major social and economic challenge for the nation as our population ages. There is hence an urgent need to review existing tax exemptions and reliefs to reflect today's trend, such as inflation, rising cost of living, subsidy cuts, and the imminent introduction of GST, escalating medical costs, and rising life expectancy, as well as changing family values, which substantially impact financial and emotional support for the elderly parents. For a start, our personal tax system creates a middle income trap for taxpayers with chargeable income of more than 100,000 ringgit, as they ascend very quickly to the maximum rate of 26%. The tax bracket should be broadened and the threshold increased to at least 250,000 ringgit, with additional reliefs for investment in approved retirement funds and annuity products, to encourage more savings and engender planning for a sustainable future. The current relief of 6,000 ringgit for EPF contributions and life insurance premiums is grossly inadequate in today's environment. Although we may have relatively high savings through EPF, the problem arises when the retiree outlives his EPF savings or has already made substantial interim withdrawals for home purchase, medical treatment, and children's education before his retirement. We need to incentivize employers and employees to establish more approved pension funds or financial institutions to provide annuity schemes where income derived is exempted from tax and contributions by both employers and employees are tax deductible. These schemes can be modeled after the Singapore CPF Lifelong Income Scheme for the elderly. Where possible, such funds should be linked to medical insurance so that contributors can enjoy some measure of post-employment medical benefits. To partially address the issue of brain drain in this country, the government should also encourage organizations to employ and/or retrain retiring employees by providing double or triple deductions on their basic salary and for related training or retraining costs. In addition, corporations should include retraining and skill enhancement of their retiring employees as part of their corporate responsibility agenda to equip these employees with skill sets beyond their normal working lives. Corporations that provide such additional training should be granted rebates or tax incentives such as double deductions to subsidize the training costs. Soaring medical costs are a major concern for the aging, as they often require increased healthcare and medication post-retirement. Private sector employees do not enjoy the same medical benefits as government employees post-retirement. The government could assist private sector retirees with tax rebates collected from these individuals during their active working years to help defray their medical costs and commitment. Care of parents and family elders should be encouraged and recognized through higher tax incentives for medical costs and dependent reliefs. Better qualified and affordable nursing homes should also rank high on the government's priorities. People sometimes find themselves exhausting their savings or selling or remortgaging homes to pay for nursing home care. Full tax deduction for expenses incurred by individuals or caregivers who maintain dependence in these facilities would help ease the financial and emotional burden of families and their parents. Recognizing the special needs of the retired and aged in general, the government could provide the impetus for retirement homes. For instance, lower land premiums or industrial building allowances could be extended to qualifying expenditure incurred in the construction and maintenance of private retirement homes or villages, with prescribed conditions and service standards. Another option would be to partially exempt the profits derived from the development of retirement homes or villages, so that the tax savings can be factored into lower costs for such homes. Malaysian insurance companies could also offer nursing home insurance policies similar to those in the US to cover the cost of long-term care in nursing homes. Additional tax reliefs should be allowed for premiums in respect of such policies. When all is said and done, having attractive tax incentives is one thing, but it is just as important to ensure easy access to these incentives. The government must ensure any good tax breaks are properly implemented, and the approval processes do not stifle the achievement of the desired objectives.